Today's adventure is a tour of historic Castle Dome City, established in 1864 when Castle Dome Mine opened and closed in 1979. This is a tour of Castle Dome City, which was moved to this site to make this museum. I toured Castle Dome with my friends Earl and Bonnie and their dog Princess. Hi, I'm Don with Cowboy Biker Adventures. Come along on this tour of Castle Dome City. Here we are walking up with my friends Earl and Bonnie and their dog Princess to the entrance of this museum. I met Earl and Bonnie at the Next Exit rally in Courtside a few weeks before this, and we have become good friends. They were kind enough to drive up here, which is a rough road. Be aware of that, for several miles off of US 95 between Courtside and Yuma, Arizona. Now let's listen to this lady explain Castle Dome to us before we enter.
Welcome to Castle Dome Mining Museum. This is the oldest mine in the state of Arizona, 1864. It is the second patented mine in the state of Arizona, 1871. The significance of that is they own the property, they own the mineral rights, they can build permanent buildings, and they don't have to mine it. I bet they pay property tax though. Just bet they do. Compared to a claim, no ownership of anything. They cannot have any permanent buildings. They have to continuously make it look like they're mining at least. And if they miss that payment that's due annually to the federal government, they lose it. Everything reverts back to the feds. It's all gone. It's also the longest operational mine in the state of Arizona, 1979. What they mined was argentiferous silver galena, 80+% lead, 12% silver, bonded together, has to be smelted to be taken apart. The original owners built a smelter in San Francisco. They tried to build one here in Yuma. It cost more to get the fuel to Yuma than it did to get the ore to San Francisco. The original owners were after the lead for paint. By 1979, we had learned a little bit about lead and paint, and they were after the silver, that little 12%. And the price of silver dropped. It's no longer profitable to mine, so they don't. And the owners needed the museum. We have two tours. One is a self-guided tour of the museum, which is $16 with a credit card or $15 cash. And we have a mine tour, which goes down in. It's the only way to access the whole mine, and that is at 1 o'clock, and it is it's $80 with a credit card or $75 cash.
It was absolutely fabulous. I can't believe the history of that here. It was wonderful.
They did a beautiful job with it.
They did a marvelous job.
Yeah.
We were going to do the self-guided tour.
Okay, come on in and I'll take your money. That's how I end it all.
Yep.
Very, very nice. I actually read the original prospectus from the company, written in 1865, as to they were trying to raise money up.
Right after we enter and exit the same place, we come across all these pots. You're going to see Bonnie and Earl and Princess throughout this video, and more about them later. First up is Adam's Cabin, which is the one building to the left of the entrance. So I chose not to show the gift shop because it was not much of a gift shop.
I guess the slow life hit me just right, like a bonfire on a gold mine. Hell, and you can keep your 9 to 5, happy with the simple life. Yeah, I ain't here to try to change your mind, trying to save your time. In case you're thinking about breaking out the bucket list, girl, you can skip this funny business. Cause up there it's complicated and overrated. Down here everything is understated. That's alright by me.
Next up is a junk pile, for lack of a better term. There was 3 or 4 of them located around this property. Looks like to me it's just where they piled up a bunch of old cans and broken glass from years past. Remember, this is all simulated because they've moved this here. This is all artifacts from the original town and mine. So here's an old mine car and a little piece of track, and behind it is a simulated mine shaft. I know this is a longer video than I like to put out. I will mark chapters and they will be found under show more if you'd like to skip to certain sections of the video. Here's a first look of the main courtyard. I call them courtyards, there's 2 of them. The second one's further back and you can see the old cars they have on display. Just remember, this town was from 1864 to 1979. So the artifacts in this mining town have a lot of years to draw from. The next building is a building that has a collection of a lot of old mining equipment, and inside also has a small saloon or bar. I'm gonna name this bar number 1 or saloon number 1. Be sure to stick around to after the credits for bonus video and pictures of both Kofa Wildlife Refuge and also Yuma Proving Grounds from the United States Army.
She told me I've been cheating on her in her dream. Lord, it wasn't a thing I could do or say to change her mind in any way. She told me that things was gonna change if I wanted her. I couldn't stay the same, so I stopped going out on Friday nights. I stopped drinking with the boys. Yeah, everything she asked I left in the past just to try to bring her joy. For the record, it can't be understated, all I've been domesticated. She told me to top off her Jeep, the one I bought her when I sold my old GT. And I bumped in.
Here's this fountain kind of in the middle of the main courtyard, and next to it is this plaque. Feel free to pause the video to read the plaque if you'd like. It has information about this mining town.
I told him what she told me. If I didn't change, she was gonna leave. So I stopped going down on Friday nights. I stopped drinking with the boys. Everything she asked, I left in the past just to try to bring her joy. For the record, it can't be understated.
Next up is this room that they have a guest book in that most people sign. Also, there is a map on the wall with pins in it where people have placed where they're from. As you can see, some have come a long ways to visit this place.
Long gone, baby, and it's all because I stopped going out on Friday nights. I stopped drinking with the boys. Everything she asked, I left in the past just to try to bring her joy. For the record, it can't be understated. Lord, I've been domesticated. Lord, I've been domesticated.
The next building I visited is the schoolhouse, and yes, I am showing you these rooms and buildings in the order that I originally walked through them and filmed them.
every single time that
And yes, that is an old school bell that's broke. The next room I came to was Digger's room. I did not take the time to show it because it really wasn't much to show. Keep in mind I've showed everything that I toured except for 3 or 4 things. And I just didn't think it was worth the time to show them. The next building or room we come to is the military room, where they encourage ex and current military personnel to sign the walls, which I think is very cool.
let it go. Yes. Well, hell, I got Sammy on the phone, Nikki at home, trying to get along so I can be with you, babe.
Now let's go look into the barber shop.
Well, you might think you drive me insane. I made the game that you're trying to play. You know, I think that maybe you should know this ain't my first rodeo. I've been around long enough to know there's some things you can't take back.
I call this the Indian room. It has information about the Indians of the period and area. It also has information about the original owner and the boat captain that was determined to become part of it.
Come on, baby. No, I ain't got time to change your mind, 'cause the bus is a humming. Are you staying? Are you coming?
Here is an old well digger or well drill. Here is the first look of what I call the second courtyard. And here's what they call the stone cabin.
Well, I've been around long enough to know that there's some things you can't take back. Some things you just got to let go. Well, there's some things you can't take back. Lord, some things you just got to let go. Oh, you gotta let it go. Oh, no.
Here's a quick look of the other side of the well digger. Next up is the bank. Now we have the second saloon I came across. Is Machine Works. We will enter from the rear, and it is a place that they have the bigger machines. Next we'll go across this little bridge to the saw building. You've never seen so many saws. This sign points to the 70s area. I did not bother going. I lived through the 70s, so I'm sure I've seen most of the things in there. Next, we will enter the Blacksmith Shop from the rear, which has a large forge and other tools. Next, we have Lottie's Dress Shop. Remember, the period of time is 1864 to 1979.
I go straight from the bank, gassing up the tank, cranking up the radio, playing old Hank. It ain't that long till I'm back at the farm. I'm pulling up the truck down at the dock. Time to do some cruising, baby, get a little stuck. It's a Saturday joyride, Percy Beach is the spot to take the blues away. We're on a boat, we're feeling fine, drinking Tennessee whiskey, a big blue sky. We're going up, we're coming down. There's a party on the water, it's a hell of a time. We're on a boat.
Next, let's go check out the church. And yes, it has an organ. The next thing I came across was a dry goods store, and in the back room they had a Assayer office.
Yeah, we're on a boat, we're feeling fine, drinking Tennessee whiskey, a big blue sky. We're going up, we're coming down. Here's the feeling, alright, it's a hell of a time. We're on a boat, we're killing time in our own honky tonk, meet the big blue sky. We live it up, we got it down. Here's the feeling, alright, it's a hell of a time. I'm falling for a small town girl, so kiss me, darling, rock my world, rock my world, rock my world. Yeah, now it's a hell. We're on a boat, we're feeling fine, drinking Tennessee whiskey.
Next, let's go check out the sheriff's office, which has a one-cell jail.
It's a hell of a time. We're on a boat, we're killing time in our own honky tonk with a bottle of wine. We're going up, we're coming down. Cheers to feeling alright. It's a hell of a time. Hell of a time. It's a hell of a time. Oh, hell of a time.
Next, let's go check out the hotel saloon and the back room. That's a gambling room. And then, of course, the hotel lobby. FYI, if you're counting, this is bar or saloon number 3.
I'm gonna hit the beat. cheap sunglasses looking so right. Hitting the streets in my old man Chevrolet. Looking for a good time and then some. Kick it with my friends in the hot sand. I got a song blasting by the Zach Brown band, yeah. Got a case of cold beer, ain't gonna last long here. I'll pick my friends up at the pier. They're all like kicking it high, kicking it low, making noise like a big truck show. Raising hell is the way to go. Yeah, we're kicking it fast, kicking it slow, bouncing around like a rodeo. Bad girls wanna rock and roll.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, next up is another bar. It's a very small one. It will be number 4.
Getting the buzz around 3 o'clock, tanning in the bed of my big truck, waiting on the right heat on the barbecue. Big old waves and a clear sky.
This next large building houses several things. Number 1, the mine shaft and the steam engine and the ore crusher, to name a few.
Beach shells, margaritas in the big shells. Let's all go crazy, baby. We're all like kicking it high, kicking it low, making noise like a big truck show. Raising hell is the way to go. Yeah, we're kicking it fast, kicking it slow, bouncing around like a rodeo. Bad girls wanna rock and roll. Yeah, we're kicking it. Everything's alright. It's a small town summer night. Oh yeah, and I feel like kicking it.
Next, let's step out of this building to the left and take a look at the Water Flume.
Kicking it high, kicking it low.
Next, I came across a tent house. At least that's what I call it.
Hell is the way to go. Yeah, we're kicking it fast, kicking it slow, bouncing around like a rodeo.
Here you see the back side of Flora Temple's bar from 1871. More about this later.
We're kicking it.
Here we have Twid's Gas Inn Cafe. This is a gas station from the 1950s, which they actually lived here also. And there's a prize in the back room.
Heading back to what used to be home, passing by those little towns I know so well, stopping for gas and then I'm behind the wheel again. Driving is like a spiritual cleanse where every mile is a new beginning and every bend holds a new end. Eyes on the road.
Okay, the surprise in the back room is a cigarette lighter collection from Mrs. Mildred Tweed Davis of over 1,200 lighters. And the amazing thing is she did not smoke.
On a letting go, I'm fighting another day. The neon lights in the fast lane light, riding high, reaching for the sky. I had it all but lost and fell back down again. Spent my time playing the game where every single day was a losing battle and every drink was a dead end.
Okay, let's go over to the front door of Flora Temple's bar from 1871, where they had a killing. It happened between two after work, and one knifed the other one to death and fled and was never seen again. And this happened in 1898. Oh, and by the way, this is the fifth and final bar/saloon. Let's take a look at this wagon and one more look at the ore crusher. As I'm walking out of Castle Dome City, I want to remind you to stick around after the credits for bonus video and pictures. If you enjoyed this tour, please give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see adventure videos about once a week, be sure to subscribe and don't forget to ring the bell so you'll get notifications when I bring out a new video. So until next time, have a good one.
High and low, holding on or letting go, I'm fighting another day. Eyes on the road, don't lose control.
Thank you for sticking around after the credits for bonus video. First, I'd like to show you some pictures I took of Kofa Wildlife Refuge with Castle Dome. In the background, this is where we stopped and had lunch. Bonnie made lunch for us. Thank you, Bonnie.
Heading back to what used to be home, where every mile is a new beginning and every bend goes a new end.
Tethered close by was a blimp, which I have to assume is a weather blimp, and I'm sure it is put up by the Army. On our way back to Yuma on US 95 heading south, we came across the United States Army Yuma Proving Ground. So these pictures and videos show the entrance.
On the greatest show, so make sure that you don't miss out, just be there. We're taking our shot, bring what you got. We're going all the way to the top. We will hear the sound of 1 million people screaming.
I want to leave you with a picture of Earl and Bonnie and Princess, my friends I met in Courtside in January. They live full-time in their RV. They are from Connecticut, and they are the most wonderful people you could ever meet. Once again, until next time, have a good one.